name is Alessandra. Thank you for the lecture. It was very good. I was a little confused when you said about the fluidic water, that it was frustrated because you couldn't... I didn't get that point so much, so if you could explain better.
There are a few studies regarding magnetized water in our data abstraction. So few studies. That's why we were disappointed with this. And we found just some epidemiological studies in Russia and the former ex-Soviet Union, and some experimental studies. So I think more studies are needed in this area. That's what I was saying.
This is a question for Dr. Nobre. My understanding is that Chico Xavier never received any remuneration, any type of money for the work he did. Can you discuss this, please?
Ele perguntou que Chico Xavier nunca recebeu nenhuma remuneração ou pagamento pelo trabalho disso. Ele gostaria que a senhora pudesse falar um pouquinho sobre isso.
Ele nunca recebeu.
He never received any,
centavo,
not 1 cent,
pelas mensagens
for the messages that he psychographed,
nem para
nor for the
as comunicações
relatives,
familiares,
from communication from relatives,
direito autoral,
nor any copyright royalties for the books that he wrote.
ele passava em cartório
He went into a
direito
in a notarization, and he passed all the rights, the royalties, on to the publishers who published his books. He was not, didn't have any business relationship with these publishers,
cobrava
nor did he
absolutamente
charge
nada
anything
das famílias.
from the families.
Ele recebia, ele psicografava
He
de
psychographed
500 a 600
around
mensagens.
50 to 500 to 600 messages for those who were sick,
Depois ele se assentava
and then he
à
would
mesa,
sit down at the table,
ficava de meia-noite
and he would stay from midnight until 2 or 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning or later.
muitas vezes eu
Many
saía com ele
times I would go out with him at 6 o'clock in the morning.
psicografando
He would be
mensagens,
writing messages
50, 60,
50,
70
60, 70 pages.
Muitas vezes eu
Many times
via que o Espírito
I
chorava,
saw that the
mesmo
Spirit
ele
was
através
crying
dele.
tremendously through him,
Ele recebendo,
and
sem
he was
tomar
receiving
conhecimento algum,
without being
ele era
aware,
médium inconsciente.
because he was an unaware medium. He psychographed unconsciously,
Mas eram
unconsciously.
7, 8,
But there were 7,
10
8, or
mensagens
10 messages per night,
depois da meia-noite,
after
1 hora da manhã.
midnight until 1 o'clock in the morning.
E essa tarefa
And this task
sacrificial,
was
ele
sacrificial.
ele realizava sem nenhum
He did this
pagamento,
without any kind of payment,
nenhum,
none
espécie alguma,
of
nem
any sort.
recebia favores.
Nor did he receive favors.
If I'm not mistaken, Chico Xavier and Aldo Vieira, they came to the United States, I don't know, in the 60s or 70s. And they sort of made some, I don't know if they were studied when they came here by Mr. Hardart from, Dr. Hardart from the University of Duke in North Carolina. I don't know if this information is correct or not, but I know that he came to the United States and was investigated here.
Ele menciona da visita de Chico Xavier e Valdo Vieira nos anos, eu acho que foi em 65, e ele acredita que vieram a visitar o Dr. Haddad, talvez como estudantes. Não tem muita claridade da visita dele. Se pode falar um pouquinho sobre isso?
Ele veio
He came
a primeira vez
the first time
em 65,
in 65, in 1965, and the second time, and then in 66.
E eles fundaram o Christian
They founded the Christian Spiritist Center,
e não sei,
and
não
I don't
tenho
know
a frente, porque o Haddad...
The Haddad has died, so I don't know.
O Haddad foi o anfitrião
Haddad was his host in the United States,
E depois disso, eu
and
não
after
soube
that
se
I didn't
a
know
questão prosperou ou
if
não
the matter
nos Estados Unidos.
continued prospered in the United States,
Mas também depois
but
disso,
also after that,
Dr. Valdo Vieira
Dr.
abandonou a
Aldo
tarefa,
Vieira
foi para o Rio de
abandoned the
Janeiro,
task. He went
e
to Rio,
Chico Xavier
and
permaneceu
Chico Xavier
cumprindo seu dever até o
continued
final
on
da sua
carrying out
existência,
his functions until the end of his existence at 92 years of age.
One last quick question.
Doutora Marlene, quase
Dr.
eu queria
Marlene, I would like to know
Francisco Xavier falava
if Chico Xavier said anything,
a partida dele,
because with his
Brasil muito
departure,
grande no mundo.
he left a big hole in the world, in Brazil and the world.
Resposta
Did
pra
he
isso,
have
se
any
alguém
answer for
poderia
this?
substituir, porque
If
ele consolava tanta gente,
He
a
consoles so
bondade
many
dele é tão
different
grande,
people. His
que agora
goodness is
ficou
so good.
vazio no mundo.
And now there's an empty space in the world. I would like to know if there's some response for that.
ele dizia que
No,
era
he
grama.
would say that he was grass.
E grama é
And
assim,
grass is like that.
morre uma, nasce outra.
One dies, another one is
Não
born.
se deu importância.
He never gave any importance.
E foi uma grande
It
liderança,
was great leadership that he carried on for that, because he was humble,
continua sendo.
and he continued to be humble.
No entanto,
In the
ele me falou
meantime, he said to me,
que Emmanuel viria.
Emmanuel,
Ia,
his guide,
Emmanuel,
his spirit
Emmanuel,
guide,
who was
will
his
come
spiritual guide,
que eles iriam trocar de posição.
and they were going to change position.
Desencarnar.
He was going to disincarnate, and Emmanuel would come.
Depois, eu soube da
After that, I found out from a friend,
Mãozinho,
Susana Monsinha,
que Emmanuel
that
reencarnou
Emmanuel
no ano 2000,
reincarnated in the year 2000 in December,
e que Chico
and
Xavier
that Chico Xavier
presenciou toda a
witnessed
reencarnação
all of this reincarnation.
e ele disse não apenas
And he
para
said
Susana,
not just to
mas
Susanna,
igualmente para
but equally to the people who lived with him,
de modo que
in such a way that we
esperando.
have great hope.
Hoje Emmanuel
Today,
tem 12
Emmanuel
anos,
is 12 years old.
vai fazer 12
He's
anos.
going to be 12.
E a gente tem grande esperança
And we have
de que
great
ele
hope
seja
that he
espiritual,
can
como
be
ele sempre foi,
the continuation of
e
the
que nos
Spirit,
ajude a atravessar
and that he can help us to go through these very difficult times.
não só que estamos vivendo agora.
Not that we're living right now, but which we will live within a few years.
Eu acredito
I
que
believe
a
that
espiritualidade
the superior spirituality has given us
essa
this possibility to continue with Chico Xavier through the work of his guide, Emmanuel. I'm very hopeful that this can occur for all of us in humanity, to be a blessing for us, because we know from the books of Emmanuel, that we know the seriousness, the goodness of the Spirit, and the good that he wants to do for all of humanity. It's sufficient for us to read that magnificent collection, Our Bread, Life Source, Truth, Road to Truth and Life, and we can observe how this Spirit is great and how he wants to do good for all of us. Then we are waiting for the physical maturity of the boy, because the spiritual maturity he already has. My brother and my sister, we can believe that we will have great support in the future.
With the permission of Dr. Luchetti, I would like to add that although we don't have much information, much research, scientific research done on fluidic water, we have all the work done by Dr. Masaru Emoto, who shows that prayer, the good, loving thoughts emitted on the water can change the way the water is crystallized. And if you, for those who have never observed or read the work of Dr. Masaru Emoto, he has beautiful photos of these crystals on his website. And if you need more information about it, you can talk to me after the. Thank you.
We did not include these studies from Emoto because they were experimental studies. They were not conducted in humans. But there is a publication from Journal of Alternative and Complementary Medicine that he published this study.
Thank you very much. At this time, we are